Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the monthly work session of the East Rockaway Board of Education. I'd like to start this meeting at 6:50 p.m. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the budget work session, that's at 7.
Yes.
That's next on here. All right, so moving on, we have items for discussion, review minutes of regular Board of Education meeting. All right, so at this time, are there any questions on the board agenda for the next meeting? Any questions? No. All right, so we have, that's it, right? All right, so we have policies for review. We have 6 policies that will be approved at the next board meeting. Policy 5300.30, prohibited student conduct. Policy 4321.12, use of timeout rooms, physical restraints and aversives. Policy 4327, homebound instruction. Policy 6830, expense reimbursement. Policy 6680, internal audit function. And policy 8635-E, Parents' Bill of Rights for student data privacy and security. Anyone have any questions on those policies? Okay, those policies will be approved at the next monthly Board of Education meeting. No, right? We have to wait for the budget. Yeah. So maybe we can start. We'll get ready to start. Okay.
We'll officially start at 7 o'clock for those people who are going to want to come into the budget meeting, so.
Okay.
But we'll let us get set up for 5 minutes and then we'll
Yep.
start
We have
at
the
7 o'clock.
budget work session presentation at 7 p.m. So that will start in 8 minutes. So I guess we'll just set it up so people can see the camera, see the screen, and then we'll start at 7 p.m.
That'll be on the next one. Okay.
Thank you.
That's public saying. For that one.
Thank you so much.
Also, condolences.
Where is the result? Where's the finish will be here. She said it's locked. Almost. How many people we have?
Oh, yeah. But he doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
I'm ready. You guys wanna?
We got 2 minutes.
Joe's gonna do this.
My daughter scored her first basket in junior high.
Oh,
She said,
alright.
"There you go." Yeah.
Congratulations.
Where's the money? I don't know, that's not the way she shoots. Few far between.
You realize this is.
Just kidding.
Why don't you do- Start talking, introduce me as a superintendent. By then, 30 seconds will pass. You can go right ahead.
Yeah, I was over there.
Well, that's the line to start.
Go ahead, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. We just wanted to make sure that you had the full presentation of the budget, which will start at 7 o'clock. So we wanted to make sure that if anyone was coming or anyone was interested in logging on, we wanted to start right away at 7 o'clock. So we have about 1 minute, so I'm going to introduce Ms. Brio, who is going to take you through, I guess this is the second? The third budget presentation for you. So without further ado.
All right, well, welcome, everybody. This is our third budget work session. During this budget work session, we're gonna give you the budget status update on our tax levy cap. We're gonna go over some expenditure reviews and the reserve propositions that we are considering putting on. So right now, as we discussed previously, the CPI cap of 22-23 school year is 2%. Each Rockaway at this point, the tax levy cap is at 2.39%, allowing us to collect an extra $949,821. That's gone down from the last presentation. Again, it's not finalized. We're still working on calculating building aid because some of our projects that we anticipate getting building aid on are not fully completed. I want to make sure we have it accurate. Again, the tax levy supports 75% of our total annual budget, so 2.39% of the annual budget is still a pretty low amount. Again, this is the tax cap, it's not the proposed tax levy, we have not reached that point yet. We will discuss that in April when we go over the revenues. We start with transportation. We have 127 students that we transport out of the district, and 19 different schools. That's 2 extra schools from what we had last year and 2 less students. So we kind of balance out. We had 17 students in the 21-22, 17 schools in the 21-22. We're up to 19, but we've reduced our student count down to 127. We've been upgrading our buses over the last several years. We are now surplusing our 2001 vehicle due to rust on the undercoat, excessive frame and undercarriage rusting, determined by the Department of Transportation inspector, so that we are surplusing that vehicle. We do have a 2018 van that we purchased a few years ago. It's got 51,000 miles on it, and then we purchased a new bus. And that's 2023, which only has 4,900 miles on it. We do have 2 2002 vehicles, one a van and one a bus, which we use sometimes. We need 2 buses, and we use them as backup. So the other 2 newer vehicles need to go in for service or inspections. We have 2 backup vehicles. Budget for the transportation is an area in which continues to grow. We continue to have driver shortages, high CPIs. The increase for transportation is set on the May CPI. If we're going to renew our contract, we have found that when you renew, you are usually better off than when you go back out to bid. And that is because less vendors are participating in the bids because they, in fact, are short on drivers as well. So the prices come in extremely high when you're forced to go out to bid for the route. Many situations we struggled. We put out bids for new routes or routes with 1 or 2 students, and nobody bid on them. So it is a difficult situation to be in. And on top of that, we have fuel costs that have just skyrocketed. So as you can see, it's slowly going up. This year, we're anticipating 8.68% increase. It's $87,000. This is the biggest part of our budget. You can see it's $33 million, out of a $42 million budget. It's a significant portion. This is our salaries and our fringe benefits. So you see on the right and the left, I have 2 notes there. Our insurance is paid on a calendar year, which means the first 6 months of the following school year, we know the premium. The second 6 months, we're guessing on what the premium is going to be. In the 2022 school year, the average premium, and when I say average, it's because I take into account individual, for the active, both the individual and the family, and then for all of our retirees. And it's not the same. It's not like it goes up 12% for everything. It does not. It varies. Sometimes your individual goes up higher than your family. Sometimes your family goes up higher than your retirees under 65. So the average between all the different rates that we pay for the 22 school year was 11.99% increase. And the average of the 23, which we just got this December, is 16.02% increase. That's significantly higher if you look at the percentage increase. We are only going up 3.65% in this area. This includes all of our employees, salary increases, as well as all of the benefits, not only health insurance, TRS, although the rate may go down slightly, it's on higher salaries. It's not a big savings. And our ERS, it's our Social Security. Social Security is a fixed amount, fixed percentage on the salary. So when the salaries goes up, the Social Security goes up. So you can see our increase here is lower than our increase on the health insurance line. But we are slowly offsetting some of our increases in the taxpayers with some of our additional funding we have in the budget. This is our equipment budget. Here we have athletic equipment, we have buildings and grounds equipment, and we have technology. As we've been talking about the last several years, we've been trying to bring technology back into the budget. We were relying on a reserve to fund a general operating expense. Technology is not something on the outside of the budget. We use it every day in instruction, and it should be in the operating budget. So we've been slowly but surely bringing it in, and over the past several years, you can see that's bringing up our equipment. The computers are going to be in the equipment budget. This area is supplies, textbooks, and workbooks across the districts. In the 1920 school year, we put together a textbook initiative. We do not have a plan for replacements for textbooks and workbooks. So we put that into place so that the books are constantly reviewed and updated so that we weren't with outdated textbooks. We have in the first line, you see the 860,000. You see my big arrow there. That was high compared to the other years, and that's because the COVID expenses were much higher in that school year. The additional expenses were, in fact, reimbursed by both the town of Hempstead grant and FEMA grant, but in school districts, you must report that in the proper expense code. So basically, that increase is kind of a one-off. This is another area where the budget has increased significantly. It's 9.54%, and these are all of our contractual costs. You'll see I highlighted around the screen some of the biggest hits to this particular area. Utilities continue to go up. So there's an additional $50,000, which is not a lot considering we're supporting the entire school district. Our security, last year after the budget was developed, we determined that we should have an additional 1.5 guards at the high school for health and safety reasons. So we have another full-time guard during the day, and then we have a 4-hour guard here in the evenings when we have all of our athletic events. That is an additional $70,000 plus an anticipated $5,000 increase in the year-to-year. Again, security is based on CPI, so it can only go up 2%. Liability and flood insurance, as I spoke about in the first budget presentation. Our flood insurance, we were notified in June, the end of June, I think it was June 29th, that our flood insurance was going up $200,000. That was a significant hit to the budget. Thank God we had some contingency funding, which made us be able to move forward. We are required to carry $11 million additional insurance above and beyond because of Sandy. We have filed with FEMA for a waiver and have not heard back yet. BOCES, we talk about BOCES all the time. It's a cooperative service. It provides cost savings for special ed, professional training, technical support. Our CTE programs are done through BOCES, and a lot of our technology is purchased through BOCES so that we get a reimbursement, so it makes it a little less. This year, our BOCES costs are going down slightly, $510,000, so negative of 3.69%. We are seeing less expenses in our special needs children, so there's a slight reduction there. For the most part, we try to maximize our BOCES aid as much as possible. We get an average of about 67%. You will see on the next screen, I will give you the percent. But the district on most services is 67% BOCES return on investment. So we'll see the following year. So if we can do this, we purchase the BOCES. We take advantage of that. Here's our BOCES aid. BOCES aid is given to us on the following year of expenses. Last year, we budgeted, that's you, I need help. 2.994869 was our budget. We do not get BOCES aid on our special education services. That's given to us in another form of aid. So I always take that $900,000 that was set aside for special education. That left us with $2 million, just slightly over a $2 million expenses that can generate BOCES aid. Our BOCES aid for the upcoming school year is $952,000, which is a return of 46%. And the reason for that is there are some services that are capped. The CTE programs are capped, the salaries are capped at $30,000. We've been fighting for that for years. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Teachers do not make $30,000. Haven't made $30,000 in a very, very long time. But that's how the state gives us aid. So you see the return in aid is lower than particular categories. Two of the proposals for propositions that we'd like to add to the budget this year is a technology reserve. This has been on a budget as a proposition for many years now. We have slowly but surely been reducing that, getting off, depending on reserves to support our technology plans. We are now down to $70,000. We were at $200,000 consistently in 2019-20 school year. We started to reduce that. As I explained last budget meeting, it would have seemed rather easy to just bring that $200,000 in, but each year our needs for hardware and technology increases, and it makes it harder and harder to get that $200,000 back in. But we've made great strides, and we're at $70,000. Our capital reserves proposal, we do have a capital reserve. We're proposing putting a proposition in to replace the high school cupola. We feel that that is like a symbol of the district. When you walk in, it just looks run down, shall I say. It was built in 1934. It doesn't give a good appearance to the East Rockaway School District. We have a lot of events here. We think that that should represent this community a little better. The cost for the replacement is $313,000. Again, this is no additional cost to the taxpayer, but like with any reserve, we need the taxpayer to authorize any kind of expenditure. That is basically what we were going to review. Are there any questions from the Board of Education?
Why is it no cost to the taxpayer for
The reserves?
calculator?
Because it's in a reserve. So we've already funded. So anytime we use reserves to offset an expense, there's no cost because it's already in a reserve account. So I don't add taxes to collect that money. Same thing with the technology.
I just had a question about that actually. Also, what's the estimated start time?
The cupola? Well, once we approve it, then we have to do plans. We don't usually start the plans until because it's a cost, architect needs. So we'll start those plans and hopefully send them up by June. And then it's up to the facilities department in the state. Sometimes they're quick.
Right.
There isn't a lot of, there isn't a lot of like electrical, plumbing, so it could go through quickly. But you don't know how backlog they are.
Understood. So, in a perfect world, we'd like to start the plan in June, and however long the actual construction takes is.
Yeah. And we probably wouldn't do the construction of schools in progress.
Right.
So it might be the summer of 24.
Okay.
Other questions? All right, so next budget session will be April 4th. Hopefully by then, the budget will be adopted. We will have final numbers. on the state aid, and we will then be able to present where we are and what our tax levy will be.
Thank you very much, Leo.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, so. Okay, so now we are gonna adjourn this meeting and go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining negotiations. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.